This video is brought to you by Sony. Learn what happens when artists meet engineers.
What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller, and this is the Dark Knight of News. Andrew Goldfarb.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Finding stuff out about Flappy Bird.
Yes, we're here to talk about Flappy Bird. You just flew in from Vegas.
Boy, are my arms tired.
Oh,
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was
So you've missed the Flappy Bird
missed all the
controversy, the rise and fall of this game. Are you aware of it?
Yeah, so people were talking about it the day before I left. So I
Big mobile game.
tapped a couple times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were calling it. We originally called it the Dark Souls of mobile games because it's really hard and punishing.
Justin called it.
I think that's good enough. He works for IGN, so I can say that, right?
Fair.
IGN also called Uncharted 3 masterpiece, so there you go. Done. It's over. The history books are written. Anyways, yeah. So then, while you were gone, game blew up. Everyone's playing. Everybody's tapping. Most people are playing tapping, then bitching about it.
Oh, this is the worst game ever. I can't.
These are our own people, by the way. This is Vince.
Oh, I hate this game.
Sounds
I
like
can't
Vince.
stop playing it.
And so then Vince reviews it, gives it a 5.4. Not a great score.
Nope.
Mediocre. Then, the next day, the developer, Dong Win, he tweets that he's out of the game. He's done, he can't take it anymore. Quote, I can call Flappy Bird as a success of mine. But it also ruins my simple life, so now I hate it.
Oh, that makes me feel sad.
He tweets about this and then announces that he's pulling it down the next day over the weekend.
Yeah, I saw that 22 hours
You had
from
22
now.
hours that he was going to pull it down. He did. It's no longer on iOS App Store. It's no longer on Google Play. However, it was, of course, the big news was that it was making $50,000 a day in revenue.
Yeah.
So now that we're here in a post-Flappy Bird world, so people are selling their iPhones right now online.
Yeah, with it pre-installed, it was $40,000 one of them was up to.
Was anybody bidding on? They're bidding on?
I
They're
mean,
fake bids.
They're probably fake bids, exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think the point still stands that someone was trying to sell it, which is pretty crazy.
Sure. So now the question becomes, what have we learned from this, Andrew? What do you think about the developer here, Mr. Wynn? Was he in the right? Was he in the right to take? I mean, should he have taken it down? What happened? Some people said legal action. You know, obviously they look like the warp pipes from Mario. He said in his tweets that is not the case. This is not about legal action. It's about me.
So there's two sides of it, right? I'm going to take him at his word. Let's say there isn't some nefarious other ulterior motive. Like, I believe that this probably was him feeling overwhelmed by it. Because if you look at it, he's one dude, doesn't have like a marketing team, doesn't have like a team of 20 people. He made the game in like 2 days.
Right.
Put it up, it did tremendously well, and then hundreds of thousands of people were tweeting at him, telling him, this game's ruining my life, this game is crazy, I'm addicted to it, I hate you, it's so hard.
And I feel he might have been taking it too literally.
Exactly.
This is ruining my life. There were tweets, and he was responding, and he's like, please, turn it off. And it's like, no, I don't think
it's like a joke, like an expression.
Yeah, like, you're ruining my life with this.
I mean, part of it could have been that. It could have been like a weird thing where he thought people were saying, like, this literally ruined my life, which would be obviously a lot harder to take.
On this, when I think you and I talked about it over the weekend over a couple of brews, but the question originally for me was this a PR marketing stunt, right? Because it's a great idea. Like, you figure mobile games get really big, fizzle out. So it seemed like Flappy Birds was this giant phenomenon, and then just as people maybe started to taper off talking about it, it's like I'm gonna take it off the market.
But I don't think it would only be a stunt if his next game is like ready, like if it's like able to come out in like a month. Because otherwise, like if he's like, oh, like I'm gonna raise awareness for my name as a developer, but then like 2 years from now releases the game, no one's gonna care.
Sure, but I mean, like he's made other games. It could also be that he's just gonna bring Flappy Bird back.
Oh, like only pull it down temporarily.
Yeah, he takes it down temporarily, and then again, when this starts to die off, then there's something else.
I see.
But I don't think it is. After listening to everybody today, reading the news stories, looking through his tweets, I think he's legitimately upset at the reaction to this, which then comes back to everyone on the internet is a jerk. Sorry, it's true. I just put up my favorite games list on IGN. My top 10 favorite games.
Flappy Bird hit number 2.
I say in the beginning, I'm like, it's not the best games, it's my favorite games. And people, you're such an idiot, all these horrible things, calling me bad names, call me slurs, you know what I mean? But I think that, I've been at IGN now for 7 years. Like, I'm used to it, right? You really quick, after a layer, nothing fazed me. You know what I mean? But for a developer who's working in pretty much obscurity, right? All his games are going up, they're getting downloaded, nobody knows anything about it. For this to explode and then it to be, I hate you and I hate your game and you're ruining my life, that's a lot for someone to take on.
Yeah, he hasn't developed that thick skin. He's not able to kind of shake it off, I think, the way a lot of people are. So.
And I always talk about this with, other developers. I've hung out with AAA developers who put out multiple games and their new one comes out and the vocal minority says this sucks and isn't as good as your last game. They take that to heart, and you have to tell them like, no. You're like, this is how it is. Think about. I always point out the Yelp reviews, right? Like when I leave a Yelp review or an Uber review, it's usually because I've had a bad experience. Just because that's what motivates me to go. My patronage and returning to pay you or telling other people about your restaurant, that's more of where I'm like, good job. But if you piss me off, that's when I'm like, I have to say something. Someone has to know about my complaints.
And it's also like on top of that, it's like this is. To him, like people can make fun of Flappy Bird, but like if he does consider this something, he's like, this is my creative work.
Right.
This is like my way of expressing myself or whatever. He's going to take it a lot harder than I think even someone who like runs a business or is like the CEO of a company with a bunch of employees and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, everybody here at IGN was running around too today. Like, I'd quit if I was making $50,000 in rep. It's like, but this is something he made. This is his baby, and he put it out there. And now people are like, you suck, and I hate you for it. It's like that's easy for us to say because we're greedy.
Yep.
I mean, if you pay me $50,000 a day
to go to American
say whatever
Sub
you want. American Sub Shop on 2nd and Brandon here in San Francisco.
Yeah, delicious.
Home of delicious. That's how desperate we are. Is that for money that we will just pander hoping we get free sandwiches? I tell you what. So yeah, what's the summation of all this?
In summary, Greg, I think I feel bad for him. I do think that this is legit. I don't see it as some crazy thing. I think this guy is a developer who made something and got overwhelmed by it, and I think it's kind of a cautionary tale about like when you say stuff to people on Twitter, like we have access like we've never had straight to people, but like maybe think about what you're saying before you say it to someone.
Good summary, Goldfarb. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of the situation? Respectfully, let us know in the comments below. Then make sure you keep coming to IGN for all the Flappy Bird news, and in particular, make sure you keep coming back to say goodbye to Andrew Goldfarb. He's flying the coop and leaving IGN after what, 15 years?
2.5.
2.5. It's just, it feels like a really long time, I guess, working with you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a pleasure. I'll miss you.
Yeah, I'll miss you too.
I've seen you grow into a man.
Yep.
You were just a Podcast Beyond fan at one time.
I was.
Then you just came and you dragged the show
that
down.
Thick skin. People made fun of me.
Yeah. Well, mainly me and Colin.
Yeah,
I think Colin and I were really just giving you the business.
I'm still around for a little while. I'm here till the 14th.
No, he's dead to us, ladies and gentlemen. Come say goodbye at his funeral, which will be the next Podcast Beyond, posting as an audio MP3 Wednesday, video on Thursday. Goldfarb, I love you.
You too.
For everything about the video games we love and maybe hate, keep it here on IGN.